Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. I just want to respond to a viewer. If you guys have things that you'd like to share, this one kind of touched my heart because this person had shared that, days do get pretty dark. We are pretty sad. Some of you have shared some suicidal thoughts, and there are suicide hotlines to help you through that. Definitely get help. You are worth something, but this person's just in a dark spot and they feel alone, and their whole life has been disrupted. The gaslighting is what broke this person. They felt ostracized by the family. So the gaslighting is the crazy making where we question our reality. They can make us believe something, try to get us to believe something that we know isn't true. Like we can say, you just said, and they're like, I didn't say that, or I didn't do that, or I didn't promise that. And we're like, but I know you did. And it just happens so often. We lose our sense of grounding. We don't know what to believe anymore. Also, we use that cognitive dissonance, and our brains are just starting to go into overload. But this person felt ostracized by family. Everyone took this narcissist side, and that's a lot of times when they use those flying monkeys, and they'll use them to kind of get messages across, or to turn family members against you. So they don't seem like the bad person. They don't have to take accountability. They just go through scot-free. People will still support them, so they still get supply. And also, when you're ostracized, it's easier to manipulate somebody who has nobody to turn to, no support system. And the anxiety that they're going through in their brain, uh is getting this person to really think, maybe all this was my fault. And we got to stay true to ourselves to know that we tried as much as we could, or we overlooked all these red flags. So looking back on your relationship, think about who you were. Were you instigating fights, or were you reacting? Because we do go through reactive abuse where we're lashing out because we've either had it, or we're frustrated, or we're like, just tell me the truth, or let's focus on this. And sometimes we lose our character. And that's why it's not healthy. We're losing who we are. So when something becomes unhealthy, it's when it causes distress. And all these diagnoses are really based on the distress it causes a person. And if it's causing you distress and you feel helpless, it's not a healthy relationship. We don't always have to bail on people when things get off kilter, if there's change, if they're willing to work on it. But if it's going to stay in that teeter-totter thing, you're going to go insane. You're already starting to feel the fog, the ability, just inability to concentrate. And it's sad. We start taking on a lot of guilt. So now we're sad, we feel guilty, we're going through extra emotions that I want us to kind of try to avoid. Are we guilty of trying to love someone? Are we guilty of trying to talk to someone? Are we guilty of asking for somebody, to just acknowledge us? Like, that silent treatment is so hurtful. And so this person will question themselves. And I'm not exactly sure what they're saying. This something about self crumbs, where maybe what they're saying is, it's hard to take care of ourselves. It's hard to, give ourselves the love that we need. But they also could be referring to the breadcrumbs, when a narcissist just gives us little smidges of love that we're supposed to survive off of, this teeny tiny breadcrumb of love. And we start to starve. We're becoming empty inside, and it's so uncomfortable. Sometimes we feel like we're dying, and people can die from broken hearts. It can also affect your organs, your vitals. And this is talking about, it says blanking. I think they're talking about blocking. So I think that they'll text them and then not. Narcissists are known for doing that. As soon as you think things are good, you know, all of a sudden the silent treatment, they'll block, unblock. They unblock sometimes just to get a little kick out of how often or how hard you try to contact them. And, you know, being in this dark spot, it's part of what we're going through. It's a necessary part as a grieving process. There's 5 stages of grief that we have to go through. So big hugs to this person. After we go through the initial stage of denial, is the initial stage. We're going to go through some denial, and we're going to start to bargain, like, you know, if only if you know, if I get a better job, then I can be a better husband or a better wife. Or, you know, if I do this, will you please just let it work out? We're going through these bargaining. Sometimes we could do it with the person, or we can do it within our mind or our God. And the grief process starts to set in. We start to go through depression, and it's necessary for us to go through this. So as we're going through the depression and the grief, we're going to flip flop between certain things. We're going to go back to the denial. You know, it's haphazard on what we're going to do. So try to focus on, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry. It's okay to get angry. That's another stage. And you have every right to be angry, every right, because all this could have been avoided. You know, there are breakups that do need to happen. Maybe different dreams. Maybe you see things differently, you know, or one wants a child, one doesn't. It's, you know, just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean it's going to be forever. But those are handled hopefully in a kind way. You know, thank you for your time. I'm sorry it's not working out. I wish we both wanted the same things, but we don't. You know, it's time to go separate ways. But the narcissist does it in such a cold way. They'll either make your life miserable, so you have no choice but to leave. They make it so toxic you can't stand it. And or they'll just up and leave you for what seems like nothing. Like, where is this coming from? You think that you're working on things, all of a sudden now they're like living with somebody, or engaged, or knocked somebody else up. That's where that monkey branching comes in. So how do we get out of these dark days? You know, how do we do that? A lot of it is let yourself go through the grieving process. And once you go through that grieving process, make sure that you try to continue on with the progress. Try not to flip flop. So the stages are denial. Is this really happening? Or he'll be back, she'll be back, or they're just having a hard day. So we go through these denial things, and we're going to start to get angry, like, are you kidding me? This is really happening. Or why couldn't we just do that? Or I suggested this, and we're going to be angry. And the third stage is the bargaining, because we're grasping at straws. Like, how do we make this better? I need to get rid of this pain. And we're also longing for somebody that we loved. But we have to remember, we were not loved. We thought we were, but how cold they are, that's not love. That's not love. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is forgiving. It is not jealous. So the 4th stage is depression. Let yourself take a couple extra naps. You know, let yourself cry at this time. That's your body processing it. Like, this is real. Like, this is the stage I'm in. And as you're going through that, the last step is acceptance. And if you're flip-flopping between, you know, depression, do I go back to the anger? Do I go back to the bargaining? Or am I in complete denial? If you start to feel that depression, embrace it. Is what I would like to say, is embrace it as, this is the 4th step out of 5 steps. I am getting there. So turn your mind around to where you're depressed, but bring some light to it, because depression can be very dark, but bring some light to yourself. Like, this is the last stage. This is the last stage before acceptance. And once you accept it, you will see so many opportunities open up for you. You will feel so much more alive, so much more free. And, you know, a lot of it is we have to rewire our brains. We have to retrain the way we think. It takes effort. And, you know, when you stay busy, it helps. Kind of gives your mind a little bit of a break. You might still have hard times. Choose your activities wisely. Choose activities that, you know, you're not going to wallow in being sad. You know, it's kind of sad. My mom was trying to be a good daughter, and my grandma had lost her mother. So they went to the movies. My mom thought, you know, I'm going to take them out to the movies and just a little break. But I want to say it was Steel Magnolias. I can't remember the movie, but the opening scene is a funeral. Yeah, it was not the right place to take my grandma that day. Because it just made it worse. You know, it was a kind-hearted gesture on my mom. She didn't know it was a popular movie at that time. And when I was going through my stuff, I didn't listen to the radio. I didn't watch love stories. I pretty much just watched news. And I'm not a big TV watcher, but I didn't want to hear the "Oh, I love you" and the songs. I was like, this is like bombarding me with the whole world's perfect, everybody's in love, and I'll never leave you, and you're my soulmate type songs. I didn't want to hear it. So don't listen to it. Or if you do, listen to instrumentals, or um, you know, some of us are stronger than I was as far as music. I didn't want to see movies like that, you know. But there's other kinds of movies, you know. There's other things to do. I love to go roller skating. Um, you know, I hadn't done that in a long time, and it's getting my body in shape, my heart pumping, and you know, it's not pressure to talk to people. You know, you can go with a friend and you're skating around, or you can even go by yourself. I go to things by myself. But it's not like, you know, how are you and Joe doing? Or is he coming back? Or you don't have to get into those deep conversations. You can just say, hey, you want to go grab a soda or pop at the food bar? But you don't have to get into these deep discussions. You know, go to a concert, feel the music. If you're not, you know, listening to like love songs, unless you want to, you know, sometimes love songs, sometimes those are triggers for us, you know. So eventually it feels good to listen to music again as you progress. I had a hard time with it, but I can listen and sing along, and that can be um enlivening, make you feel alive. Is that a word, enlivening? I'm a teacher. Huh. Enlightened, how about that? Enlightened, maybe, I don't even know. Invigorated. And so I just wanted to reach out that, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It is okay to go through the dark days. And it's sad. Don't question yourself. Don't question yourself. Don't take on that guilt. That's the last thing that the narcissist is doing to us, making it feel like it's all our fault. So they don't have to take accountability. You know what happened. And if you're here, you truly love that person. You know, you're here searching for answers because you loved that person. And you know, if it's true love, it finds a way. But narcissists don't like to put in that effort, and they don't feel the connection. They don't ruminate. They don't miss us. They might have fleeting thoughts of us here and there because, you know, they'll miss the supply, but not the person. You know, when you guys went through this stuff, you probably cried every day. You know, did the narcissist, you know, did they even take time before they moved on to somebody else? So the depth of the relationship with the new supply, it's shallow. It wasn't well thought out. Will they work out? A lot of it depends on the new supply's naivety, uh, what they're willing to put up with, and the triggers that happen in life. Narcissists fall apart at any trigger. They are not stable. That'll show their true colors, or their temptations will show their true colors. So I just want you to know that you're worth it. You are worth being loved. But we have to love ourselves first, you know, and looking back, it's like, what do you mean? Like, I love myself. Like, I'm a smart, I'm, you know, this, that. Love yourself. And that means sticking to your boundaries. Don't allow people to talk to you the way some people talk. Don't hang out with the wrong people. Don't be sucked down that rabbit hole. And misery loves company, you know. Narcissists usually hang around with other narcissists. Pay attention to the red flags of what do they find funny, you know. I was scrolling through YouTube and there's all these like horrendous accidents, and like you'll be like, oh my God. And then you read the comments and like his motherfucker deserved it, or holy shit, that was awesome. And you're like, are you kidding? That was awesome. Look at the heart of the person. Look at the heart of the person. And you know, we got to choose wisely too. And it's hard because it's not your fault, but the narcissist hid everything from us. How do you do your research when the facts that they give you were lies, you know? So it's not your fault. And as far as feeling ostracized, in time, a lot of your family will come back. If not, you know, maybe reach out every now and then, but they should know who you are too. And just believe in the process, and what's meant to be will be. Just show them just how awesome you are, because I know you are. So big hugs. It just touched my heart and I just wanted to reply to it. So topic requests are welcome. So are one-on-ones, and I'll see you in the next video.